I just want to say something. I do not want any of the federally illegal criminal activity. I don't want any of it to happen to any friends, family. I don't want to be harassed. I don't want anything to do with the criminal activity. I do not want anything to do with these pedos targeting people and murdering them. I don't want anything to do with their child trafficking. I don't want anything to do with their defamation of character. I don't want anything to do with their artificial intelligence abuse. I do not want anything to do with any of their illegal activities. And a female pedo, she's harassing me. I think it was Alicia Sanchez. It was her voice. I know what she sounds like because I left a message on her voicemail at Waste Control Specialists. And her voice is on her voice recording. And whenever I was backing out of a family's house, their driveway, she spewed out, "You don't want it." And she was injecting a disguised face, stealing family and friends' voices. And then I was driving off and I was focused on what I was doing, not focusing on them. I don't want anything to do with them or anything to do with their targeting or hurting people. And then another female spewed out, "No, you don't want it." So they've done this for years and years and years. And I think it's to try to get me involved in their psychopath brain. It takes the attention off of, it takes what they're doing off, the focus off of what they're doing, any type of responsibility for their actions, what they are doing, off of them, and then places it on me. And then it's like they are placing the blame on me in their mind so they can continue to target and do what they are doing and not feel any guilt or shame for it. So that's one of their techniques that they do, along with stealing my family and friends' voices and injecting faces, to keep them going with their algorithms and their stealing and their targeting and their criminal activities. So I just want to say, I do not have anything to do with them. I want them gone. I want them shut down just as quickly, like in the next second, this second, now. I pray for that every day that they are I pray every day that they are destroyed. And sometimes multiple times a day that they are destroyed just as quickly. I want them to have a lethal injection. I want there to be a law made where there can be, because they have done and been involved in so many murders, been behind them or done them to so many people, that there is a law made where individuals like themselves, which there's not many of them out there that have done as many murders as they have, but they get a lethal injection immediately, very quickly, at their work or their house as soon as possible. And so I'm praying for that. And I'm just believing and receiving that it will happen. But I do not have anything to do with them. I do not want to murder. I don't murder people. I don't want anything to do with their murders or their targeting or hurting people. I don't want anything to do with their criminal activities. Nothing to do with them. I don't want anything to do with them at all. I don't want anything to do with West Texas Consultants, Waste Control Specialists, Urenco, Edward Saldivar, J. Lee Barnes, or anybody with them at all. Never, ever, ever, forever. And they are so psycho and have multiple personality disorders because they steal my family and friends' voices, they will try, in the past they did, they tried to act like they were my family and friends and did major defamation of character. And so now they steal their voices and then put their pedo voices against my family and friends' voices to try to make it seem like in their brains and to mess with the technology to try to cover up their crimes that they are with us. And a female, and I think it was Alicia Sanchez, it was her voice, to the left of me whenever I was heating up food the other night, she spewed out, "We want to be with you." And she was injecting a face and stealing my family and friends, voice. So they steal my aunt's voice 24 hours a day. And this is when they are covering up murders, when they are child trafficking, when they are shooting my body horribly, when they are spewing out horrible things, when they are injecting their horrible thoughts against my brain, abusing government patented technology that you can look up. This is synthetic telepathy. They also do V2K. They do audible electronic harassment. That's when they put speakers in the vicinity of where I'm at, and they can get very loud or they can get quiet, but I audibly hear them. And so there are different types of technology that they abuse. So anyway, and they do it to deceive people. And then they are able to inject emotions that they record when they are hurting somebody or involved in their death, I believe, because they inject these emotions after they've done something horrible to me, and it is not an emotion I am feeling with Jesus. And it can be shaking a lot of unbalanced energy in my body that I can feel that I am forced to feel that I have never felt in my life before this happened, before this horrible targeting happened like this. This is very extreme. And this the injected emotions, all of that, really, the forced emotions where I could really tell it significantly different, was in 2021. And so, noticeably know that it is not my emotions that I'm feeling with Jesus, that it is an injected emotion, recorded emotion, injected against my body. And they do this throughout the day, the night, until I go to sleep. And then even in my sleep, they can do it with a dream manipulation, but I can significantly feel it throughout the day and night. But it's horrible abuse of artificial intelligence that they have been doing for so many years to cover up their crimes. And Urenco has a contract with Pantex. Urenco is a contract of West Texas Consultants. And their other contract is with Waste Control Specialists. Harold Simmons, whenever he was alive, he had bought shares, a lot of shares with Lockheed and Martin. And he wanted to own Lockheed and Martin. If I remember reading correctly, he wanted to own it. And Lockheed and Martin has military weapons. So, anyway, they have spewed out that they're with Pantex stealing my family and friends' voices, of course, and injecting an AI disguised face. And I can't see these faces. Whenever they are injecting the shadowed out disguised faces, I cannot tell who it is. And that's whenever she was spewing, "You don't want it." And then I drove a little further, and the other female spewed out, "No, you don't want it." So they could be then going and targeting that individual with the disguised face. I don't know who it is. And then they're saying, "Oh, you don't want it." Well, I don't know who it is, and I don't want anybody to die. I don't want any good person to die. These pedos, yeah, destroy them now, please. I hate what God hates. But anybody good who they target and do genocide to? No, thou shalt not kill. I don't want them murdered, but it is written numerous times in the Bible that the enemies will be destroyed. And I believe what God thinks. I believe what God says. I believe in his word. And yes, I want it to happen. So, yeah, please happen. And commit your ways to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. So I believe that. And then witches are supposed to die. We can say witches die. And I'm trying to say the exact words, but it's tough. And it's something along the lines of, "We shall not suffer a witch to live," or something like that. And so, yeah, we can say, and I posted a video about it, you know, all witches die, warlocks die. These are those reprobate minds that refuse to turn from their wicked ways. They don't want to turn from their wicked ways. They are bound for hell. No turning back. They want to keep sinning, keep collecting demons. And these are the individuals that continually deny the Holy Spirit, and that is the unforgivable sin. So, and these are descendants from the Nephilims. Nephilims are what happened when angels decided they wanted to be godlike, and they wanted to do their own thing, and they wanted to make their own rules, basically. They weren't Satan, but they were fallen. And they decided that they lusted after women, humans here on earth. And they were out of a line with God, and they came down and they had babies with women, and they are the giants that you read about in the Bible, the Nephilims. And so these are descendants from the Nephilims, and have those same demons. They're the same demons have the same demons in them as the Nephilims. So did the angels, and having babies with the women, and then there were the Nephilims that were created, the giants, and they did all sorts of bad stuff. So lots of demons, not good, and then that's where you get these reprobated minded individuals. They are not like us. They do not want to be like us. And they stem from the Nephilims. So that can give you some better understanding as to why they are the way they are, and they do not want to change. You can read the whole Bible every day until it's read, and they are not going to turn from their wicked ways and get right with Jesus. These reprobated minded individuals that stem from Nephilims. And I encourage all of you to look into the Ethiopian Bible. There are 22 books in the Ethiopian Bible that are not in the Bible that you can buy in a store, or that we, read in church. There are 22 extra books, and they were taken out of the Bible that we have in church and stuff like that. So it's really interesting, and I am so excited to learn more. But just read in Enoch. I think only Enoch so far. Well, maybe Genesis, but Enoch is what I remember most. But yeah, that'll give you some insight as to why these individuals are the way they are, because they are so evil, lustful, their minds are so diseased, and they are the most sinful individuals out there, and it is so horrible to have to know what they are, get forced their thoughts against my brain, and all of that every day. But I know that I will see the reward of the wicked, and my brothers and sisters will see the reward of the wicked also. So, and every time they throw that stuff up against my brain, I'm getting blessed and they're getting cursed. And it's sad that they choose to be like this, because there's a better way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through him. And every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So they will bow to Jesus. And either they will give an account to him, or he's going to throw them in hell. And there are different depths of hell. And these will go to the lowest of low depths of hell. So, anyway, if y'all have any questions for me, please reach out. I'm glad to help any way I can. But these focus on people all day long. All night long, that's all they do, are focus on people who I am not focused on. And they have done this since 2020, April of 2020, when they started targeting us they started their electronic harassment and their illegal activities that I audibly heard and saw on our property when we moved to Florida, on the property that I owned. And so I just don't want this to happen to anybody. My child has been exploited. They recorded him changing in the closet and showed this video to me through federally illegal remote neural monitoring. And you can look up that government patent. And remote neural monitoring is only supposed to be used in a medical setting with consent. Brain data mining that they do for harassment is only supposed to be done legally with a disclosure to everybody involved who they are going to be focusing on. A disclosure is supposed to be made to the individuals who are going to be focused on, and you have to go about it a legal way. They did not. No, this is all for criminal harassment and for torture, because they know I hate pedophiles. And I spoke out about, I posted about what Gary Ragland did to me in elementary school. And then whenever my child and I moved onto the property in Florida, Northport, Florida, that's when the audible electronic harassment started. And 24 hours a day, So it was horrible. Well, that's when the electronic harassment started, and it has, I mean, it's 24 hours a day. So it's horrible. The abuse of technology is horrible, and it must be stopped. All of our leaders really, really need to know how horrible it is. I prayed that Jesus would place on their hearts how horrible these individuals are, and that it is a worldwide emergency to shut them down so there is no more innocent bloodshed. It is a must for our children's safety, for elderly, for law enforcement, for everybody's safety, for these individuals to be given a lethal injection. So, must happen immediately for all of our safety. Those of us who aren't pedos. Okay, if y'all have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to read the false white gospel that's so good. I encourage you all to read.